to MD90's channel. Thank you so much for clicking. If you're new, please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button down here. Is it here or here? I think it's here. Yeah, subscribe, leave a comment, let us know what you think, and share the video.
Well, Dalisa Lungu has lost the property that he was given by Edgar Chagwa Lungu. As you may be aware, he has been in court from the time that his father left office in 2021. And the verdict has come through just a couple of hours ago, and it was known. And the public has been reacting to it. It has been reported by the UPND there, as you can see. It says that Dalisa Lungu loses 79 vehicles. That's according to UPND, same news headline carried by Kalemba. And then Emmanuel J. Banda, the former Petauke member of Parliament, independent member of Parliament, he weighed in and he had this to say. He said you can acquire all his assets and wealth, but not his legacy. God will restore him and his former position in his absence. So, into his former position in his absence. So, he's referring to Edgar Chagwa Lungu and his kids, saying that in as much as this is happening, that JJ Banda is going to be restored. So, the details are that, as reported by Diamond TV, say Lungu's son, that is, loses 24 million worth of property to state. So it says former Edgar Chagwa Lungu's son, Daddy Lungu, has lost properties worth over 24 million kwacha to the state after they were found to be proceeds of crime. The forfeited assets include over 69 motor vehicles, so the number keeps on shifting there. So here it says 69, there was 79 there. So according to Diamond TV, it says 69 motor vehicles and 23 pieces of land located across the country. And in the judgment delivered by the Lusaka High Court Economic and Financial Crimes Court, the court noted that the investigations into Mr. Lungu's financial capacity revealed that non-compliance with tax return required by the Zambia Revenue Authority, including submission of non-returns. So the court observed that, the court observed that this indicated that Mr. Lungu had no describable income or, discernible income from employment or business activities that would be subject for tax. It further found that the funds used to acquire the properties were reasonably suspected to have been obtained through illicit and unlawful activities, including money laundering and tax evasion. The court also noted that the failure to establish legitimate source of income capable of financing and acquisition of the properties led to the conclusion that the assets were tainted and constituted proceeds of crime. As a result, the court ordered that the properties be forfeited to the state to be applied as the Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, deems fit within the confines of the law. The application was made by DPP Gabriel Piri under the non-conviction-based forfeiture process. So that's the result from court over Edgar Chagwa Lungu's son. And then Sean Tembo weighed in over, once the verdict was given, Sean Tembo was able to give his two-piece on the situation of what is happening. So he says about the current situation, the true economic review or a mere attempt to woodwink voters. So he alleges to say, is it truly a crime has been established and otherwise a conviction has been done, or is simply a woodwink strategy to get votes for the UPND in this August general elections? So according to Sean Tembo, that article, he says, by Sean Tembo, PEP president, In the past 4.5 years, the Zambian people have endured, among other tribulations, persistent load shedding, regional-based appointments and public office, and high exchange rates. As opposition leaders, we have raised above these issues and proposed some of the solutions, and government in general, and the President Hakainde Hichilema in particular, deemed our concerns and referred us to as a noise and jealousy in the current government. So he says the current state of he lists a number of things, and he simply says, is it truly a conviction or pretty much? And then he says, in the end, the $1 million question is Zambian people now are confronted with is whether the positive changes that we are currently witnessing from the UPND government in terms of load shedding, appetite for tribalism, and appreciation of the Kwacha constitute a substantial turnaround in their approach to governance of the nation, or these are temporarily designed to hoodwink electorate ahead of the 13th August general elections. Instead of answering these questions on behalf of others, I will allow each individual reader to answer it themselves. But your answer is above the answer to the above question. I wish to remind you, Zambians, that our only home, this is our only home. Therefore, we need to do everything in our powers to make it better, a place for ourselves and our children. The future is shown tembo there. So, and then some of the properties listed. So according to Kalemba said, that Lungu will no longer be the owner of 79 vehicles. So that this is where the variance comes in. Earlier on, Diamond TV says 69. Here it says 79. 79 seems to be the one that has been making rounds most of the time. So they say 79 vehicles worth 24 million kwacha, so the amount stays the same, and 25 pieces of land dotted across the country given to him as a birthday gift by his daddy, the late former President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. The Economic and Financial Crimes Court decision after that he so lamentably failed to prove the properties were gifted to him by his father. Some of the properties are in Chongwe, Chivombo, Chisamba, Solwezi, Ndola, Chilanga, Petauke, and Nakonde. Director of Public Prosecution, Gilbert P. Since been directed to utilize the properties as he deems fit within the confines of the law, and the single orphaned son has since been condemned to costs of tax and in a default agreement. Details later. So I don't know if what they mean by default agreement. Does it mean that it's not in the country, or it wasn't present in court? You lawyers can describe what that default agreement entails, but pretty much they highlight some of the properties. I don't know if these are the ones Kalemba has attached to this particular post or not. What is the Laura Miti at the Think Piece sharing her thoughts on the upcoming general elections in August and the UPND prospects and Hakaine's performance. So Laura says, I've raised anxiety about 2031 when a UPND stampede for succession adds to the opposition chaos. UPND has a weak and absent internal democracy. Plus no recognizable transition plan makes for an all-around mad 2026-2031 term of office for citizens who don't matter in the equation. And she details what her thoughts, and she says, we have a deep problem as a country, which is that about everyone and their cousin wants to be president. The deep crisis is that the clamor for State House is almost entirely fueled by and disguised as selfish interest. I mean, it is now open secret that the good of Zambia is best prophecy consideration for the large majority politicians seeking elected office across parties. Individuals after enter politics simply because they want a turn at a feasting table. So yes, we have now a deep end insanity and takes odds ahead of every election. Rather amusing the tragedy of an ordinary citizen caught in up of this mindless frenzy for decades. And then she says, or pretty much like, but it's not about the 2026 elections. I want to talk about, it's not about the 2026 elections. I want to talk about President Hakainde Hichilema is to win this election, she says, according to her, these elections are already won by the incumbent president. But it's about 2031 that have a low-key raising a sense of panic. Pretty much say it's a duplication of what happened in the previous past, where everyone wants to succeed President Hakainde Hichilema in this case. And she goes further to highlight to say, you see the UPND as a weak and absent internal, pretty much repeating the same point there, simply saying the point is simply will the enactment of territory a real test of the democracy, pretty much there. And then Manuel Mwamba was quick to respond to her, and he says, civil society leader, this is the Manuel Mwamba responding to Laura Miti. A civil society leader, Laura Miti, is speaking of possible succession struggle in the United Party for National Development, UPND, when President Hakainde Hichilema leaves the stage in 2031. In partisan lenses, she assumes President Hichilema has been elected and won the 2026 general elections. Kupusalat, he says, I mean, that's been silly. How can you skip an election that is months away and you start talking about 2031? Emmanuel Mwamba says there. And then Kitwe in mental disorder surge. So 500 cases diagnosed at the hospital every week. So Mashuria Kitwe, that's according to Times of Zambia. Daily Liberation has that headline. Daily Mail, as they say, the Fourth Republic after August. Lasaka Shambatwa. He says there's a likelihood of a change of government after this election, which will cause a Fourth Republic, he says. And then the Zambia Daily Mail, Zambia Bags Global Award, that's the headline there. And then how were the 70 identified disclosure criteria used for new constituencies? EC says, disclose the criteria used for new constituencies. Electoral Commission of Zambia edged. So people are curious to find out how the 70 new constituencies were identified and how the breakdown is going to happen. And like just saying, no, 70 constituencies to be created, where and how was that decision come down to? That's the news, ladies and gentlemen. Have a beautiful day.